Hey everyone, Daniel and Marty here, live from Gamescom. Well, actually, you're watching a recording. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, one of the games we're talking about now is Until Dawn. This is the game that was announced at Gamescom 2 years ago. Kind of move-compatible PS3 game. That game doesn't exist, but Until Dawn lives on.
Yeah, Until Dawn lives on. It's no longer sort of a schlocky teen slasher throwback like it was 2 years ago. It's a much more serious PS4 game. It's built in the Killzone Shadowfall engine, so it's completely gorgeous. They have real Hollywood talent as each of the characters. So Hayden Panettiere from Heroes and
the Scream Queen.
Yeah. And they brought in actual horror movie writers. And so all that's good on paper. So I'm like, okay, you got the core tenets there. I'm excited for that. But what really impressed me was the game is built around these 8 friends who go to a cabin. And obviously, in typical horror fashion, things go awry.
And it's in the woods.
Hopefully they don't go in the basement. They probably do. But they're saying it's sort of, they're saying that no matter what happens to your characters, there's no fail state. Okay. So if you're playing as a couple and the killer gets you, even if he kills both members of the party, the story just moves on, and those 2 are dead. And the story has to adapt to that.
Did they tell you about the mechanics? Can you freely switch between characters?
Do not freely switch.
So you go in sequence?
Yes, you go in sequence, but they sort of, it's called, they're referring to it as the butterfly effect in the game. And they showed sort of, in the previews, they've showed that cracking of the ice. And what that actually is almost like it's a chart that has all the branching story paths. And what happens is when...
It's a metaphor, Mark.
It is a metaphor. And when a certain character dies, that sort of chunk of the story can't exist anymore.
It's inaccessible to you now.
But the cool thing is they said, anyone can die, everyone can die. Anyone can live, everyone can live.
Did they say anything about how long it takes to play through that? Like, is the approach, like, it's not a party game as such, but it's a game that you maybe want to replay loads and loads and loads of times?
That's it. They're saying they wouldn't give an exact time.
Like a communal game.
But they were asked, could you, in theory, because the whole thing is Until Dawn is could you survive until dawn? Is play this game at night and finish in the morning. And it sounded like yes. So it sounded like this is a shorter. I mean, it's not going to be a 20, 30-hour game.
You can imagine maybe passing the controller every time one of your friends dies.
Absolutely.
It's so cool.
I love that. And they said they definitely want to encourage sort of replaying and to see, well, if you go back now, you've solved some of the mysteries of what's going on, maybe you'll make choices that'll be better informed, and maybe you'll be able to save all 8 characters.
I've got a few more questions.
Yeah.
So what's the threat? Is it supernatural?
I've seen both natural and supernatural. So there is some sort of like a physical killer in a mask in the house. But you also keep seeing this specter, this sort of ghost. But I'm not sure if the ghost is malevolent or benevolent. It seems like, from what I saw of the ghost, she was leading you towards, how to. You found this dollhouse with a keyhole, and you couldn't open it up. And later on, this ghost sort of pointed you in the direction, and you opened the drawer and found a key. And so I feel like she might be, I don't know, she might be like Casper, the friendly ghost. But I also like some of the things. There's a lot of sort of player agency and branching in just little things. Early on in the demo, one of the characters, completely optional, went off to the side and found a big pair of shears, put it in her back pocket, and then 20 minutes later, she was attacked, and she was able to pull out the shears and stab the attacker. And so a lot of players could just completely walk past those, but people who do pick those up are going to have those at that moment.
And you also say it looked gorgeous.
It looked absolutely stunning. I mean, Killzone Shadowfall looks good. The character facial expressions and the environment honestly looks better.
I also saw The Order 1886 today, and that looks phenomenal. Yeah. So we're kind of really unlocking, we're starting to unlock some of the PS4 power.
Yeah, we're getting to that creepy point too, where things are starting to look really realistic. I'm getting scared.
Oh, I cannot wait to play Until Dawn. So,
this will be so
it's
good.
Probably one of my most anticipated games now. This is
Same here.
A game made for me. So for all things survival horror, all things PlayStation, stay right here on IGN.